Hey, welcome to another episode of Heroes and Videos. We're going to do another lightning round today. Don't have a lot of time. I've been away for a bit. I appreciate you being here. We're going to talk about new comics and go through them pretty quickly. We've got Spider-Man, we've got Uncanny X-Men, we've got some Batman in here, all kinds of good stuff. We're going to end up on some absolutely great comics to give you a major hint on that, and with a couple of surprise endings. So stick around for that at the end because there's some really cool. It won't spoil anything, but there's some books that have some awesome shocker endings. So without further ado, I would love it if you like the channel. Leave me some comments. Let me know what you're reading. Let me know if you're reading some of the stuff I'm reading. Would love to hear more about it as we go into this, but let's get right to it. First up is Feral, and I apologize. In the pre-show, I realized there's way too much glare on this book. Got a new lighting setup, and unfortunately it's not great. So when the book's in the plastic, it was a lot of glare, but not so much now that it's out. So I have freed this Feral book. Have you ever had a book that, and we've all done this, have you ever had comics that you get behind on reading and you're like, oh, I got to go, before I read the latest issue, I've got to read that back issue, or I've got to read I've missed the last couple, I've been buying them, I haven't been reading them, and yet an issue after issue goes by and you're still buying them and you're not reading them, and you never get back to it. I didn't give up on Feral because I've been buying them all along. I've got all 20 issues. I stopped reading it though probably 10 or 12 issues ago, and that was a book like that for me. I just kept going, I gotta read the last couple before I read the new one. I jumped back in. I said, you know what, we're up to number 20. I need to jump back in and read this book. I can't wait till I can go back and read the other ones. So I did that, and just like all great comic books, I think it was the legendary Jim Shooter. Yes, you can put your comments in the comments below about Shooter, but I think he was always did right by me. Was great every time I met him, and did a lot for the comic industry. But one of the wonderfully wise things he said was, every comic book, you got to remember, every comic book is somebody's first comic. So when creators are out there creating comic books, they need to write them and draw them as if it's the first one for somebody, because it's always going to be the first issue for somebody, whatever it is. I jumped right back into this book, and I didn't need to know what happened in the last 10 issues. I'm confused about some things, but I really enjoyed the book, and I'm going to go back and read the other ones, but now I can keep moving forward, having jumped in at this issue. And as it says at the top, after this issue, everything changes anyway. So if you're not reading Feral, you should be. I'm sure it's in trades, and again, like with most great comics, you can just pick it up and know where you are, or at least dive right in. Same advice I'd give anybody about, oh, I want to read X-Men, I want to read Spider-Man, but I don't know where to start. Yeah, start with any issue and just get into it. And if you like it, keep going. Speaking of great comic books that you can jump right into, Amazing Spider-Man 22, we're counting down 986 and Legacy. All the videos been jumbling together for me. I don't know if I'm coming or going. I've probably already talked about this book. This is when Pete comes back to Earth. And so the two storylines going on in Spider-Man between Norman on Earth as Spider-Man and Peter Parker with his space crew, those stories come back together in this issue. And although it's a little jarring seeing the space crew with the Earth art, if that makes sense, compared, because there was a different artist doing it when they were in space, it works. I'm glad they're back. It also kind of resets the book a little bit. I was a bit concerned. Sometimes when these storylines wrap up, we go right back to the status quo. It does feel a little like they're just putting pieces in place so they can do the upcoming Spider-Man Venom Spiral crossover event. But things are put in place to where I'm hopeful that we can get back to some of the weirdness, or get back to some of the things going on with the space crew after the Spiral event. So really enjoying, as always, Amazing Spider-Man. I said lightning round, so we're going to get quicker here. Captain America number 7 in the current volume, as you can see. Thunderbolt Ross's Red Hulk is there, doing a bit of nation building in this book, where the Latveria is now leaderless after Doom, or after One World Under Doom, the events of that crossover, or that event, if you will. And nobody's in charge in Latveria, and a number of factions are vying to be. A little weird with everything going on in the world today, but art imitates life, imitates art. So yeah, that's what's going on. I'm curious. At the top it talks about the Armageddon Assembles, which is Chip Zdarsky's upcoming event that he's doing. He's also writing that book, as well as I think there's a Wolverine book out as well, or Weapons of Armageddon. And please let me know in the comments. I'm sure, Chip, you're a viewer of the channel. Please let me know if I'm mispronouncing your last name, or folks in the comments, please let me know if I'm saying Chip Zdarsky correctly or not. But it looks good. I'm curious as to how that event's going to play out in a few months. Deadly Hands of Kunlun are next. This is number 1. I love me some Danny Rand Iron Fist. I'm not such a fan of 70 different Iron Fists. There are not that many in this book. I'm assuming this is the young lady that was in the really good Iron Fist limited series that was out a few years ago, I guess, at this point. That's the newer Iron Fist up there to the left. And then Danny Rand is over on the right with an interesting combination of, or the mask that he had in the last Iron Fist series. And I'm enjoying this. If you're a fan of the Matt Fraction book, this is not like that, but the Hidden Cities, the 7 Cities of Heaven, I believe, of which Kunlun was only one, they factor very heavily in this book. In fact, if you care about the fate of those cities and the various defenders or warriors of each of those cities, they are also heavily featured in this book. Shang-Chi is over here on the pop shelf representing, because I do not have an Iron Fist pop. But you know what? Day's not over yet, so you never know. New Avengers is rapidly, it feels like, coming to a close. Really enjoying this book. There's a cool scene in it where, because it's such a bizarre group of characters. You've got Carnage, Black Widow, Bucky, Laura Linney, Wolverine, Klee, Namor, Hulk was in it at one point. There's just all kinds of cool characters. There's a scene where Tony Stark shows up like on a video hologram chat sort of thing, and he's like, he's talking to Natasha, and then he's like, oh, hey, is that Bucky? Oh, wait, is that Namor? Is that Carnage? I mean, it's just kind of cool to see these characters interact not only with each other as a unit, but within other parts of the Marvel Universe. It also has a bit of a cliffhanger, or a surprise ending, that sort of a villain reveal. But honestly, I've been reading Marvel Comics for 50 years plus. I only have an inkling of an idea. That's not a clue. Because I'm trying to think of a clever clue that doesn't give anything away, but I can't. I am struck by what I think might be a clue at the end in terms of this, but it's played like we should know what this means. I'm encouraged. I'm eager to see where that goes. And again, the book has a feel that it's wrapping up, which is kind of a good thing. You need to know when to stay, when to go. And I know I need to keep going through these books, because I did say lightning round. Mortal Thor number 7. Love those covers. I am almost certain these are Alex Ross covers, but I couldn't swear it. Mr. Hyde is driving that car that Thor is on. The Mortal Thors, I'm enjoying this very much. It's completely different. Like it's not the Thor. This is not your grandfather's Thor. He seems to be mortal. He's on Earth. We're not really sure he's who we think he is, or is he? I don't know. But that also has a feel that it's kind of coming to a conclusion. But I'm looking forward to future issues of that Thor book. Detective Comics is wrapped up. That Fear Kills, I think, was the name of the Courage That Kills was the name of the storyline. This is probably the highest numbered comic book I've ever bought in my life. This is number 1106. It's the end of that storyline. I love the way this started out, both the art and the storyline. It dropped off a little bit for me as it wrapped up to a conclusion. It had one of those feels like, and Hush was the same way for me. this is the world's greatest detective. How did he miss this? That this was the villain kind of thing. And I'm not saying there's a big reveal in that book, but yeah, it was a little disappointing to me when if you're reading a storyline, you're like, wait, I know who the villain is in this fairly quickly. How does Batman not know this? But enjoyed the book. Detective's a good book if you want to pick it up. Rogue #2 is out. That Shadows of Tomorrow, that was the headline that I thought I assumed only went with the individual X-Men books that are coming out now, like Rogue and Cyclops. Turns out it's also on the X-Men titles. So I think Shadows of Tomorrow is just kind of their imprint, if you will, for the storyline after that Age of Revelation, where in attempting to stop a terrible future, the folks from the future came back to the present, when folks from the present went to the future, but they may have ended up causing the bad future by virtue of trying to stop it, which I always thought, like, the Terminator film, I've always thought that was just a really cool science fiction concept. Rogue, good book. I love how this and Cyclops are both referencing back to the various, each of the respective teams that these characters lead. Rogue's got some issues going on with her powers, as you see there. So good book. I'm looking forward to seeing where that goes. X-Men here as well. The Cyclops-led group. Been really enjoying this book too. X-Men are hitting on all cylinders. You should read this book. I know the Krakoa era got really deep and heavy and some really quality stuff in there with Powers of X and all of that. It's kind of cool that it's back to just, I don't want to say superhero comics, but yeah, it's more of that. The mysterious character there with the gun is not someone I remember. Maybe he's from the 90s X-Men books or after I dropped off of reading the book. I will give you a hint. It's not Cable, because that gun is just not big enough to be a Cable gun. But enjoying this book, and there's a great scene in it where I don't want to spoil anything, but where the X-Men kind of get played, and that's always interesting in fiction. We're now going to get into the last couple books, those Absolute books I was talking about. Absolute Wonder Woman. I picked up this book with the Batman crossover. So well played, DC marketing department. I'm in for Absolute Wonder Woman. I picked it up because of Absolute Batman crossing over. Those two characters have a crazy awesome dynamic, and it got me to pick up this book. Love whenever the trade dress is involved in the cover there, and I just realized just in making this video that the Giganta, I don't even know the character's name, obviously, and I read the book, is crushing the title of the book there. They do a cool thing in here when she's speaking at a giant size. The font is, and the word balloons are bigger, so it gives you that cool impression that it's actually gotten bigger. Wonder Woman in this iteration is more magical. It has more magic involved, and it's pretty cool. It works. So Absolute Wonder Woman, definitely pick that up. The last issue and this one had Zatanna in it. Oh, I did want to show you in terms of the art. The artist is Hayden Sherman, and it's just beautiful. And there's in particular, we're going to be talking about a Titans annual coming up here. One that from last year I just picked up another copy of. Just has some beautiful art in it. Just check out that beautiful gaze there. There we go. Sorry about the glare and the audio, but just a beautiful shot. Look at those eyes. I mean, I've never been a huge Wonder Woman fan, but just beautiful shot of beautiful woman there. So just really, really good book. The art reminds me of some Thor books from a few runs ago, and but yeah, Absolute Wonder Woman, absolutely pick that up. Speaking of Absolute and women, looks like Poison Ivy is menacing our favorite Absolute Batman here, and they do some great things with the character in this book. This is a book we were talking about, surprises and shock endings. There's a shock ending in this. There's also, no spoiler, you'll have to guess who it is, but there's an unexpected kiss in this book. And yeah, spoiler, it's not the two characters on the cover. And I really didn't see this one coming. You can see just some incredible artwork on that book. You see over there with the forestry around Gotham City. They do some really innovative stuff with Poison Ivy in this book. She's not just a lady that can control plants, or like, what Marvel's Plant Man. It's much more innovative in terms of how her powers work, and who and what she is. So Absolute Batman number 17, you should definitely pick that up. And now we are at the end. This is World's Finest number 48. Yes, that is Earth 3's Crime Syndicate on the cover, at least Ultraman and Owlman, I believe it is. The from Earth 3. Now, the World's Finest books, the conceit there is these all take place in the DC past. If I had to pick a year for us in terms of publishing, it would probably be from the 60s or 70s, right? Dick Grayson is still Robin. It's throwback era. But this book takes place on Earth 3. So it's the Earth 3 Crime Syndicate before Crisis. It's the Earth 3 crime, I guess. I'm thinking the World's Finest stuff takes place before Crisis. It's the Earth 3, Earth 3 Crime Syndicate before the Forever Evil storyline, or, when they were still a thing. And it's weird because it's like a day in the life, and it really concerns you, Ultraman, somebody with those kind of powers, if they were evil, just how terrifying that would be. And I really wondered, well, what's going on here? Why are we just spending this whole issue on Earth 3? The reason I should care about this book is revealed on the last page. And I'm not spoiling it for you because you should go out and pick it up. This has been out for a few weeks now. The next one's coming out any day now, I think. But it's just like a couple of these books we talked about. Great shockers at the end of the story that really, like page turners, really want me or want you to then, man, I really need to have the next issue. So some great books out. Hope you'll let me know in the comments which ones you're reading, what you're reading if I'm not, what you'd like me to read. Let me know what recommendations you have in the comments, and I'll pick that up and maybe talk about it on a future show. With that being said, thanks for sticking around to the end. As always, keep reading comics, keep going to see movies in theaters, and be kind to each other.